We've all been there. You find something in your house that seemingly does nothing, and it slowly starts to drive you insane. This tiny mystery turns into one of the funniest and most relatable moments in the entire show, proving that sometimes the smallest questions can create the biggest obsessions.
Joey's answer is classic Joey. It does nothing. But for Chandler, that's just not an option. He believes that if a switch exists, it must have a purpose. There has to be a reason it's there, right? And that simple question quickly turns into an obsession. What starts as a tiny mystery soon becomes a mission, as Chandler becomes determined to uncover the truth behind the mysterious switch. This sets off a brilliant comedic chain reaction, filled with confusion, curiosity, and the kind of everyday frustration that makes the whole situation hilariously relatable.
Chandler goes full mad scientist mode. Instead of using lamps like a normal person, he starts plugging noise-making appliances into every outlet he can find. He's running around the apartment, listening carefully for a buzz, a hum, or any sign that the mysterious switch is doing something. Every new test gives him a little more hope, and every failure makes him even more determined to solve the mystery. It's absolutely hilarious to watch, because what started as a simple question has now become a full-blown investigation. This is a perfect example of what makes the show so brilliant. It takes a tiny, everyday annoyance, something most people would ignore, and transforms it into a high-stakes mission that feels strangely important. And somehow, you can't help but get invested right along with Chandler.
After 7 electric shocks and a very expensive electrician, Chandler finally gives up. He accepts the unthinkable, that the switch truly does nothing. The mystery is over. The obsession is finished. And for the first time, Chandler decides to stop caring. But just when you think the story is over, the Friends writers deliver one final laugh. As soon as Chandler gives up, we discover that somewhere else, somehow, something is happening. The switch actually has a purpose. The problem is, Chandler will never know what it is. And that's what makes the ending so brilliant. There's no grand reveal, no satisfying explanation, just the hilarious realization that the answer exists, but remains forever out of reach.
Why does this scene work so well? Because it's a bottle plot. It doesn't need a huge budget, elaborate sets, or over-the-top special effects. All it needs is great character chemistry, and Friends delivers that perfectly. On one side, you have Joey, completely relaxed, totally unbothered, and perfectly happy accepting that the switch does nothing. On the other side, you have Chandler, whose neurotic need for answers simply won't let the mystery go. Joey's indifference versus Chandler's obsession. That contrast is pure comedy gold. The more Joey doesn't care, the more Chandler has to care. And the more Chandler spirals, the funnier the situation becomes. It's a simple character clash, but it creates endless laughs.